What's up, pals? Welcome to another episode of the Your Random Pal channel. And today I'm in Pontiac, Michigan at the Pontiac Transportation Museum. It's a really cool place. It just opened up like the end of July of 2024. They had their grand opening and I am filming this. It's September 5th right now of 2024. So this is pretty much a new museum and it's going to keep growing and growing, but I'm going to show it to you as it is now. Let's go take a tour of this really cool place. Now, as a side note, there's also another Pontiac museum, and that one is in Pontiac, Illinois, and it only features Pontiac, Oakland, and GMC. Now, this Pontiac Transportation Museum features more than just Pontiac and its companion brands, Oakland and GMC. It also features vehicles that were manufactured and made in this area, Pontiac, Michigan. So check this out. This is called the Pontiac. It's a 1908. It predates the company Pontiac. Has nothing to do with Pontiac or General Motors. And they made about maybe a couple hundred of these from what I was told, and this one is supposedly the only one in existence. So a non-Pontiac Pontiac right here. As you can see, even the tires predate the black tires that we see today, because the original tires were white. If you look at old cars from way back when, you'll see they're white tires before they had the additives to make them the dark color we see today. Yeah, if you're like me, when you first see this Jeep looking thing behind you, you're probably scratching your head, why is this in this museum? This is a 2024 Mahindra Roxor. It looks Jeepish, Jeep-like. The reason why it's here is because it's actually assembled here in Pontiac, Michigan, but the Mahindra is an Indian brand, so it's a Indian company. Let's check it out. It's really cool looking. So if you're looking for a new exciting vehicle, you might get a Mahindra Roxor. It's very utilitarian. You'll be the first one on your block to have one of these. As you can see from the inside, it's very basic. It's a manual transmission. It's only got the one gauge there, no stereo. And in this corner we have a replica of what everybody considers to be the first automobile, the 1886 Benz motor wagon. We made about 100 of these replicas, and here's one at the Pontiac Transportation Museum.
The breadth might be surprising.
Take a look at the back here. You can see a lot of parts that kind of are reminiscent of a bicycle. Here we have a very cool 1929 Oakland. I love the color scheme on this one with the orange accents. And you can see here's the Oakland emblem on the car. And these display cases are pretty cool. I got some neat items in them. I love this bird here. It's like a bird off of a first gen Firebird. It'd be 67 to 69 style bird, and then second generation they changed the styling of it. And here you see some model buses, which a lot of the buses from I think it's 1980 and back were made in Pontiac, Michigan. So big bus manufacturing area. And here's some more stuff here. There's the Pontiac Fiero. Here's the GTO Judge, the famous drag racer Arnie the Farmer Beswick. Those are some cool, neat Pontiac awards right there. Right in front of me here is a 1917 Olympian, which I have not heard of before. There's all kind of vehicles early on from various manufacturers, buggy manufacturers, and what have you, that were made here, and a lot of them you probably never even heard of. Here's the 1914 Carter car. And here we got a 1907 Rapid Coach, which is kind of more like somewhat of a commercial vehicle. It's got a 12-passenger seating. I believe they made a lot of kind of trucks and stuff too. And here's a 1905 standard carriage, really cool. And here's a buggy from the Pontiac Buggy Company. So this car behind me, it has me freaking drooling, man. I mean, look at this thing. This is a Pontiac Sunfire, and this paint is Sunfire for real. It's Sunfire orange. This is a concept car. It's actually a fully functional concept car. You could drive it. It'd be cool if it actually made production like this, but we got something a little similar, but not quite as wild and extreme. And this is a speedster type design. And right next to it is a really cool 1984 Fiero. It's a rally car. Now that would be fun for me. I love rally cars. I love rally racing. It's my favorite form of motorsport. Just because you go like on-road, off-road, you got all kinds of terrain to go through. And check out these vintage pictures of it. Now behind me, it's a white Pontiac G6. It looks like any other rental car you would find. It's white. I mean, it's plain looking, but it's actually very historically significant because this is the very last Pontiac ever made. This is a 2010 Pontiac G6, and it was in fact a rental car. Yes, the last Pontiac ever made was a rental car, and nobody knew it was the last car. After its years in service as a rental car, an old lady had it, and then sometime after she got to the point where she couldn't drive anymore, that's when it started to get tracked down. And it got tracked down by some Pontiac enthusiasts that looked up the VIN and found out that this was indeed the last car. And apparently when it was owned by the lady or the rental company, nobody ever looked under the back where the rear, the spare tire is. You can see all the autographs from the people that worked at Pontiac and assembled the car. And that's how you know for sure, that and the VIN number, that this is the very last Pontiac ever made. Now this Pontiac Solstice behind me, it hides a surprise under the hood. Check this out. It's a 427 motor LS7 V8, cranking out like 550 horse, something crazy, in a little bitty sports car. There's been several conversions done on Solstices before. I don't know how many are out there, but that is kind of a popular thing to do with the Solstice. Convert it to a LS, cram that big V8 in there. As you can see, it's pretty crammed in there. Now take a look at this cool Vixen. This is like a concept pre-production model here. So it's not the actual production model, but they did go into production. It's pretty futuristic looking. And the thing about this motorhome in particular is it made so that you could actually fit it in most garages. It's kind of a smaller motorhome. Does have a little bit of length to it, but you know, if you got a decent sized garage, you should be able to fit it inside without too much hassle. Take a look at the inside here. It is a beauty. Now here we have what most people point to as what started off the muscle car era, the 1964 Pontiac GTO, and this has got a kind of a rare and odd color to it. It's kind of a somewhat of a pinkish, reddish salmon color. I don't know what you actually call it, but the thing about this car here is it's 100% original, how it came from the factory. And isn't it a beauty? Notice it's got that 389 V8 tri-power setup on it. They were rolling up, open one of those roll-up doors. That's what all the noise was back there. Now check out this. It's 72 Pontiac Granville with these truck mirrors. It's got truck mirrors on it because look what it's pulling. It's pulling a big trailer. Now this is an interesting type of trailer here. It's one of 13 made and believed to be the only one in existence. It was found in the swamp. And what this trailer was used for is it's a mobile unit to train people how to rebuild engines. It would be full of tools and stuff. You can see historical photos right there. So a very interesting piece of history there. A little mobile rebuild your engine unit. Now here's a really neat model of the 69 Pontiac GTO Judge. Of course it's a half model, but you can see me in the background. This is a pretty big one. This is way bigger than a 1/18 scale. Obviously only half, you can see. Looks like it's a full model, but it's got a mirror behind it. And here's one of the trucks in the museum. It's a 1940 GMC pickup truck. And for the die-cast enthusiasts, nice little display case here. 1/18 scale models. Oh, the 60s era cars in here. All right, taking a back room tour.
Yeah. Oh.
There's another Olympian right here. This is the area where it's going to eventually look nice. It's a very new museum.
And you can see Pontiac, first one to have the steel roofs. Everybody else had open motoring still then. Crank up windows, that was quite the big deal, right? Of course today we just push a button, right? But these cars are only 7 years apart, but look at the evolution of styling.
Yeah.
A lot of it's got to do with now sealed headlight beams. You know, these are open. Obviously electric starters now been on all cars. A little more streamlined. They eventually came out with the the trim work along the sides, dressed it up quite a bit.
Check out what's working back here. The Pontiac Fiero with the hood emblem on it. That's a race car. You can see that's faked out to look like headlights.
This will be our library.
Pretty cool. We got a car need a restoration back here. Another car need a restoration. Oh, buggy right here.
No, we won't go lower.
And take a look here.
Just too many safety
A
things.
big Indian over there in the corner, and there's more cars down below. So once this museum gets up and running fully, I mean, there'll be a lot more to it. Oh, there's a Pontiac Can-Am. It's like a 77. It's got the 400 motor, the TA 6.6. It's got the red interior. And here's a Pontiac GTO. You don't see too many of these. It's not like a year that people collect too much. It's got the shaker hood scoop on it like a Trans Am would have. So this would be mid-70s Pontiac GTO. It's based on the Nova platform. As you can see, the overall shape of it is the same as a Chevy Nova. It's got the Pontiac rally wheels on it. There's the old Grand Am station wagon with the honeycomb wheels. And look at that car.
Station wagon, that was a Canadian station wagon. So
It looks like one of those Renault lay cars.
they use a
It says it's electric.
Chevy engine, but
And there's the Pontiac brand of the Chevette.
because the wheels are so messed up. So that's one of our volunteers here. He's going to keep it here for a little bit. Beautiful color.
Now here is something crazy, crazy cool. You gotta check this out. A 4-seater Fiero. Look at that. This is the only one in existence. So you can see it's a bit longer than your typical Fiero. It is still a 2-door model, but it's got room in the back. It's got, I don't know, looks like a stereo in the console for the back, people in the back, oddly enough. Still doesn't have a whole lot of room back there though. Maybe they made this car to be cheaper on insurance with the back seats. Who knows? But this is a Concept 2+2. And I think all you're going to get back there is some little kids. Here we have a special edition Firebird. This is a 1979 Yellowbird, but it's not a Trans Am special edition. It's more like on the base model side, a Firebird Esprit, but it does have some Trans Am like parts on it. You see it's got the snowflake wheels, which you would see on a Trans Am, but it does not have the shaker hood. It's just a flat hood. Doesn't have the formula hood either. It's just, like I said, flat. And it has a spoiler on the back. Here's the little graphic for the Yellowbird. Now this is one of 3 special edition Esprits. There's also the Skybird, which is like a robin egg blue, and then there's the Redbird. And this was the, I think, the final iteration of it. The Yellowbird was the last of the special edition birds. And here's some interesting Pontiac Grand Prix here. These are based on the G bodies, same body style as the Chevy Monte Carlo. Now this is the pre-production Pontiac Grand Prix, and it's black and gold. Kind of gives off the Smoking the Bandit theme here. And here's the actual production model Pontiac Grand Prix. Take a look inside both of them. And this one's got the both of them actually have the glass that goes all the way back to the tail end, the Aero Coupe style. Really cool. Here we have a GMC motorhome. It's kind of in rough shape, but this is the number 2, the second one off the line made GMC motorhome. Obviously seen better days, but it exists. Hopefully it'll be restored one of these days, put back to the way it would have came off the assembly line. Check this out. This is a car that barely escaped the crusher. It's a concept car. They believe it's like something called a Pontiac Rev from the early 2000s. Now this is all kind of faked out. This is non-functional, but unfortunately with a lot of concept cars, they get crushed, they get destroyed once they've served their purpose. And here's an example of one that was almost crushed. As you can see, it's got places in it from where the forklift picked it up. So this was near death, this car here. But they have it at the museum, and it's kind of neat to see a concept car that barely survived. Well, pals, I hope you enjoyed the tour of the Pontiac Transportation Museum in Pontiac, Michigan. Until next time, don't worry, be random.
And if you never want to miss another random car video,
remember, ring that bell. Ring that bell.